Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome back into Marlborough, Massachusetts. Beautiful New England Sports Center. This thing has been around for years. Lucas, it feels like we've called 1,000 or more games in this building at this point. And this weekend, we've seen what feels like 1,000 games of hockey. The action has been continuous. Folks working hard, putting the best of the best from around the country on the ice. What a weekend we've had so far. We reached the halfway point. You know, we had the quarter pole earlier today. We reached the halfway point in an event with over 120-plus games, teams around the nation coming in. We're about to reveal 3 more USPHL Dan K. Show selected all-star teams for the Premier. The Pacific Division, the Midwest East, and what was the last one? I forgot already.
The Great Lakes.
The Great Lakes. We're going to have the Great Lakes, the Midwest East, and the Pacific All-Star teams for the Premier announced here now with Dan Kay and Lucas Jones. Before we do that, I introduce into the booth my left-hand man, Mike Consigliere. Mon Frere from another mayor, the man, the myth, the Lucas. What's up, man?
And we can add to that category, Dan, a man who just missed the tail end of the mac and cheese in the scout room.
Oh, I told you it was in there. I forgot to get it too. I didn't know it was gone.
I knew it, and I said, let me just get this
one last thing. If you are hearing this and you're within earshot and you took the mac and cheese from the scout room, bring it back. The Dan K. Show wants it. Put it on this desk. We will eat it with our bare hands.
First of all, thank you for keeping up with the scout room. For those of you who can hear us, doing a great job keeping that thing stocked. Scouts love coffee. They love water. They love food. We've had it in bunches. But I confess that I was really looking forward to the mac and cheese.
We are going to have to scoop up some food for the boys at the hotel. We are putting the broadcasters up for the weekend who are calling all your games on Hockey TV. But I was told by Sean Bretherick he requested not spicy, not fish, so I said spicy tuna rolls coming your way.
And a lot of spicy tuna rolls, like the big boat.
Oh, that's what I said.
Huge boat.
You were going to get to the hotel. I have the mobile key for the room.
And actually, we can double up because you hate not just the smell of tuna, but the smell of smoked salmon. I love smoked salmon.
Nope.
We could do a spicy tuna roll with a little smoked salmon on top.
You know what I do love? All-star teams, baby. And we created the best of the best here. Let's start with Team Pacific. And I am specific when it comes to Team Pacific. This is one of the hottest leagues in the nation. This division is fast. It's high-flying. It's high-scoring. You got a chance to see a Fresno Monsters team earlier today put up 6 goals in a 10-6 loss to the Bridgewater Junior Bandits. They like to score goals in that division, Lucas, and we're going to see a team that can do just that.
They really do like to score goals. We're getting to see it firsthand, and now you get to see this graphic firsthand. Are you ready?
Go for it. There we go. For the folks watching at home here on YouTube.com, the Dan K. Show, we are showing you this all-star team. Let's read through it line by line. Your top forward line, it's going to be Rihards Mertens, Ari Rossi, and Jet Arminen of the Lake Tahoe Lakers. As we see the Detroit Fighting Irish go by, we'll be doing the Midwest East all-star team next. How about DFI, man? They gave it. I still wear the robe. You know?
Oh, the robe is great.
It's comfy.
Apparently, and this might be privileged information.
Go ahead, privileged information.
But a new robe is in the works.
Oh,
I heard the word
us.
silk being thrown around.
Throw the Dan K. Show logo on it. That sounds like co-branding. Let's go to our next forward line for Team Pacific. We've got Narek Alexinian of the Fresno Monsters, Stepan Skaversky, and Mikhail Gavrilenko. These 3 score it in bunches. How about 3 Thunderbirds who just had a battle royale with the Chicago Cougars on our next forward line? Heath Mensch, Caleb Strong, and Evan Brown. What can Brown do for you? Just score goals in bunches. Evan Brown, one of the best skaters in the country. Heath Mensch, a leading scorer all over the USPHL, the most points gotten. Caleb Strong as well at the center there. Our next line, we got 2 Long Beach Shredders, and boy, these guys are shredded up. Tubular brother, Blake Anderson, John Bishop making the Dan K. Show Premier All-Star team. For the Ontario Reign, we had 2 as well with Aiden Sautner and Juna Cruteau. And Lucas, because this is a very long way for me to read while the folks watch at home with a screen in front of them, why don't you give them the defenseman?
For the defenseman, we got Luke Stevens from the Lake Tahoe Lakers and Luca Earn, 2004 from Fresno Monsters. Chase Sechrist from the Lake Tahoe Lakers, a 2002. And Loic Goslin 2004 from the Las Vegas Thunderbirds. I love that there are so many Thunderbirds on the list because we finally got a chance to see them in person. We'll be sure to talk about that after we get through these last two defensemen and the netminders. Ludwig Nilsson, San Diego Sabres, a 2001. Jacob Nordorf, 2002. Long Beach Shredders, those unis, absolutely fire. The players, just as good.
Let's get to the goaltenders, and I'll tell you what, there is no tougher job than being a netminder in the Pacific Division. The Pacific Division scores in bunches. Sometimes you play a game on a Sunday out there, you don't know if it's the NFL or the NHL or the hockey or the football or what, man, because these guys can put the puck in the back of the net. Your three netminders for the All-Star squad here. First from the Fresno Monsters with 6 wins on the year and a .925 saves percentage, .249 goals against. It's Kevin Brennan. He's joined by the San Diego Sabres' Philip Plars, who we saw earlier today. 8 wins on the year for him. And finally, the former Charlotte Rush goalie, now in Lake Tahoe, Arlie Cutler. He's got 10 wins, the most of anyone on this Team Pacific squad. Let's start getting into it now, Lucas. In the first place I got to start, it's that big old jet airliner, Jet Arminen. And he doesn't get carried too far away. This guy scores goals. Jet Arminen might be one of the best players on planet Earth right now playing hockey.
Well, and he's on a team that has absolutely made a statement this weekend as well, you know, and that carries a little extra weight with it to be able to really put up those numbers when it matters, right? To be able to create that offense, to be good on defense in those clutch situations. That's why I think he's a shoo-in to make this all-star team.
Speaking of shoo-in, stop stepping on my mic. That is my mic.
Lucas giveth the mic, and Lucas steppeth on the mic.
We keep going here, and you just see the points down the board. It's ridiculous. But you can't get away without talking about Heath Mensch at the Las Vegas Thunderbirds. 74 points coming into this weekend. He continues to add to that number. Heath Mensch, there's no time for this young man to ever be on the bench. This guy's lights out. He can score it. We saw him today against the Chicago Cougars. The amount of attention that Coach Dahlman had to play to Mensch, you spend most of your time keeping an eye on him, and next thing you know, you got Caleb Strong and Evan Brown. You want to talk about a guy that floored me more than anybody else on the ice all day long? It might just be Evan Brown, who showed up today with a goal. What can Brown do for you? Just about anything. If I'm a college coach, why am I not looking at Evan Brown right now?
Well, the crazy thing is you look at Mensch, you treat him like a classic wide receiver one.
Yep.
You send him all the way down the field. It opens up the rest of the field for your other receivers. This Thunderbirds third line that we have here, what a show they put on today, especially Strong and Brown. These two were involved up and down the ice. The Thunderbirds are the real deal. If you had any doubts whatsoever, somehow in your mind, because you look at the numbers, you look at the games they play, not sure how you could have any doubts about this team, but you got to go back now and take a look at this game that we just saw, because the Chicago Cougars put up a battle. They met the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds responded. What a great battle all the way down to the finish.
Is there a defenseman on the planet that puts up more points than Luke Stevens, Lucas? And I'll tell you what, you immediately become the second best Lucas on this broadcast right now as I talk about Luke Stevens. 57 points on the season, 30 goals, 27 assists. This guy he handles the blue line for you. He'll play defensively. He reminds me of a Joe Duzak, a guy that played back in the day for the Pal Islanders, moved on now playing with the Toronto Marlies in the AHL, a near Hobie winner. I mean, Stevens is just a guy you can trust to come up, get involved in the offensive fray. He's got to have a guy with – you want a guy with him who's going to hatch back for you, right? The guy that can get back and make the play, who can deal with the 2-on-1, but he makes things happen. Luke Stevens is having a stellar season for the Lake Tahoe Lakers.
You know, if I was a grumpy hockey traditionalist, I might say, well, that's not a defenseman.
You are
a
grumpy
forward.
Hockey traditionalist.
But I am not.
And so is Christian. Are you a grumpy hockey traditionalist? Don't tell me that.
It sounds like the beginning of an infomercial. Are you a grumpy hockey traditionalist? Do you want to enjoy the game of hockey instead of just yelling at the TV? Try some offensive defensemen.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it is. There's nothing better than a guy who could dish out hits and put points up on the scoreboard. Luke Stevens does it both.
Now, you kind of go down this list. Obviously, you got Narek Alexanian, who is dominating from Fresno. But Stepan Skversky. Let's take a Skversky to the side right here. Let's kind of move our car over and talk about Stepan, because nobody can step on this young man's ability. 26-27 coming into the weekend. You add him to Gavrilenko. This Fresno Monsters team, they're putting up tutties on everybody.
Big numbers every single game. That is the Monster way. That's the identity they
The
come
Monster
in with.
Way. What are you at Monsters University? What are you, Mike Wazowski? The Monster Way.
Well, fun fact, that's how the coach of Thunderbirds told me to pronounce one of the names. Said, think of Mike Wazowski every time you come in and.
I always think of Mike Wazowski.
Well, I mean, you have to.
He's my spirit animal.
You have that little dancing Mike Wazowski on the dashboard.
I do. Everywhere I go, it brings me good luck. It keeps me calm. We keep going here. We got a Midwest East team to go to now. The Midwest East All-Star Team brought to you by the Dan K Show. We selected this one. We picked this one, and Lucas will get it set up. Oh, I went out of order. That's okay.
We go whatever order you want to go in.
Oh, thank you.
That's it.
That's very nice of you.
It's flexible.
Let's unveil the Midwest East team and go. There we go. Let's read through it for the folks in attendance here and the folks watching around on Hockey TV and YouTube.com. We moved it off of Hockey TV.
We're on YouTube now.
We wanted to make it free to the folks at home. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Makes it easier for the sponsors. We look at this one, Lucas. You start with that top forward line, Michael Slavinsky of the Chicago Cougars. He's joined by two teammates here, Cuppa Joe Galino and Gertis Palauskas. We just saw those guys win a game over the Las Vegas Thunderbirds. They can deal it out.
Yeah, no, they absolutely can. Whenever you see three guys from the same team on kind of one of these all-star lines, well, that might be a good sign that these guys know what they're doing, right? And they absolutely battled against a really tough team from Vegas, the Cougars, proving why they're one of the top squads in the USPHL.
Next up, we have Jacob McDonald and EIEIO. Boy, is McDonald good, man. He might be one of the best forwards in the Premier right now. He's joined by Stephen Miller, who bands it home every day of the MJDP, a year 2003 from the development program. And Stone Bishop. Stone Bishop's tough, man. This is a hard-fighting kid. This is a guy who can battle. He's big. And when you talk about size, if you can teach size, if you can build skill in size, Bishop can make a difference at any level. Austin Combs of the Metro Jets Development Program on line number 3, along with a Fort Wayne Spaceman's Logan Robbins and a Detroit Fighting Irish star in Colin Leduc. Lucas, let's talk Leduc.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to talk about him, really. I mean, the amount of times we've watched some Detroit Fighting Irish hockey and he gets involved, it's really something to behold. It's something you really should watch. Log on Hockey TV. You should come out to a rink near you or wherever they're playing. Take a look at this kid because you combine the strength and the speed, that skill on the offensive end, an all-around player that you absolutely have to have on your side.
Next up on Team Midwest East, Garrett Benoit of the Detroit Fighting Irish. He will be joined by Demian Tichenko of Motor City Hockey Club and Decatur Blaze's own Jonathan Gergel. Our final two forwards to make the squad, Walker Smith of the Decatur Blaze, who walks it on in, and one of the best skaters in the country, Riley Lubers. This is an underrated guy. Year 2003, finds his way into Midwest, and he's made differences. We'll talk about him in a minute. Our defenseman, you got a top D pair from the Chicago Cougars. How about Andreas Zorn and Jack Parks? I write my highlighter players. It's players that don't show up on the stat sheet but show up on the ice. It's why I picked Jack Parks. Jack Parks is a difference-making defenseman who's a year 2001 looking for a home at the next level. Next up, Joey Carpenter of MJDP and Noah Main of the Fort Wayne Spacemen make the squad. Finally, Austin Buck of the Fort Wayne Spacemen and Shane Rombach, who is the most underrated defenseman on planet Earth. No one talks about Shane Rombach enough of the Detroit Fighting Irish.
I agree. I mean, that's a name that jumped out at me initially as absolutely deserving to be on there. It's a kid who plays tough, and they don't make him much tougher than Shane. He goes out there with a lot of grit, a lot of determination. I think he's exactly the kind of player that can really change momentum.
It was impossible to pick goaltenders in here. We could have picked every single goaltender in this division, so we went with 4. Starting with the Chicago Cougars, Michael Leonard of the Cougars. The Cougars will make this one. Next up, Kugel's delicious, though. Next up, Freddie Soderberg of the Metro Jets Development Program. Antoine Robideau, I can't read from this far away. Hudabis of the Fort Wayne Spacemen, and Nick Meyering of the Midwest Blackbirds. Lucas, as we see Coach Shaheen pacing through the lobby, we should remind him of who his stars are. Why don't you bring us back into the booth here?
Well, and one of his stars is one of 2 people that I really wanted to highlight, and it was Shane Rombach, because, again, you see these kinds of players in person. You can watch them off the puck a little bit easier. And I think Romback is one of those guys that really deserves a number of eyes, a number of looks, because he is that good. He's ready. I mean, I look at an 0-1 who's ready now, right? Ready to
100%.
go and slot in to your roster, who can battle defensively. And the other one who I really wanted to kind of highlight here is Tkachenko from the Motor City Hockey Club.
Demian Tkachenko.
Again, another player that we got to watch in person, and watching him kind of take charge of that Motor City team, make a lot of impact plays, kind of wield that physicality as well, creating space where there might not be any. I was really impressed with his level of play.
Yeah, Lucas, you look at this squad right now, Romback's so good. Colin Leduc with 34 points on the year. I mean, you can't go wrong if you're talking Joe Galino of the Chicago Cougars. 43 points coming into this weekend, 15 and 28. Had another goal today in front of us, his 16th of the year. Joe Galino, man, this is a young man who's got a big future in front of him. A 2003, young guy playing in that Schwartz system. The Cougars get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on this squad. That's a pretty good year so far for Chicago.
Yeah, not a bad way to make your mark on the first half of the season with 7 All-Stars out of the Midwest East. I mean, the Cougars continuously, they are an institution in the Midwest, right? Every year they are competitive. Every year, no matter whether it's 0-1s and veterans, whether they've got young guys, whether the team is big, whether the team is fast, they always seem to put together a team that works well together.
It sounded like you were going like, ain't no mountain high enough.
Like, ain't no team big enough.
Ain't no valley low enough.
Ain't no team fast enough to keep the Cougars from first place in the Midwest East?
Sure, why not? Go with it.
I think that kind of works.
The Palm Beach Typhoon in here, how about have a week, young men? You know, these guys go out there, they beat the Lake Tahoe Lakers, and then next thing you know, the Lake Tahoe Lakers go out and beat the Metro Jets, the number 1 team in the country. So that's a bit of a statement one right there. We're gonna be naming the All-Star team for Florida that we pick tomorrow. So you boys have to keep an eye out for that, see who makes the squad. They've already all named themselves the All-Star team. They got a whole pizza. That's the way to go with it. You get the whole zai. You know what I mean? It's first one to eat as many pieces. Don't ever be afraid to eat the last slice. That's the number 1 rule as the boys are watching on here. Lucas, how good is Palm Beach? Let's go over the Roll Palm Beach real quick for you. Let's hear it.
I mean,
let's hear Roll Palm Beach. What's that? Let's go player by player. Let's walk through. Let's go one by one all the way through the Palm Beach roster. So
they'll stay open. We could do it. We'll go both rosters, including the coaching staff.
Let's sit here. Let's put our feet up. Let's get comfortable. Everyone get comfortable. Let's go player by player through the Palm Beach roster.
Grab those.
That actually feels good, Lucas. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a little siesta here.
Grab those grade school transcripts. We'll go through year by year, class by class, see how everything
went.
What's
on the bottom of my shoe?
Maybe not the bottom of the shoe. Maybe,
folks at home, what's on the bottom of my shoe?
Maybe not the bottom of the shoe on the
table. Can you please help me out? What's on the bottom of my shoe?
It looks like a sticker.
Is it a sticker?
It's the label on your shoe.
What's the label say?
It's probably whatever brand your shoe is.
It says $1 million. That's how much these cost. This one going on now. We're going to move on. One more team to unveil tonight. We got the Team Great Lakes.
Yep.
We've got the Great Lakes All-Star Squad. This is from the Great Lakes Division. Bunch of teams make this one up. Obviously, the Metro Jets we talked about. They're in this one. Toledo. We talked Columbus. We talked Cincinnati, as they say out there. Talk Pittsburgh. We got all these squads in it, Lucas. Let's show it to the folks at home. So, Lucas, we start with the forwards. Your top forward line is all Metro Jets. We go Alex Schaumburger, Cam Hellman, and Andreas Fluteau. Fluteau, obviously, going to make this squad, especially when you make your way to the number 2 on the SC Top 10 just 2 weeks ago with the Dan K Show on the call. Talk about silky mitts, more like the filthy goal scorers club. Andreas Fluteau says, or a lot of pucks. We go to our next forward line. We got the Worcester Oilers with Neil Adams, joined by Bailey Bird. I'm like a bird, I always score a goal, Toledo Cherokee star, and Vincent Servizi, who can serve it up to the right side. Zeth Stelmazak from the Toledo Cherokee on line number 3, alongside the Columbus Mavericks' Ethan Bishara, as well as Columbus Mavericks' own Tyler Isherwood. Your fourth forward line, it is the all-time leading scorer In the goal scoring category, in the history of the USPHL, Drake Barnish of the Cincinnati Junior Cyclones. He's joined by Brendan Walk and the Pittsburgh Vengeance's own Nick Tessier. Your final two skaters on Team Great Lakes, it's going to be Sawyer Lounsdale of the Pittsburgh Vengeance and the Lake Erie Bighorns' Dominic Conti. Tough forward line right here from Team Great Lakes. Lucas, after this is all said and done, we're going to pick who we think would win a tournament. We're going to make a tournament. We're going to pick our way through it, and we're going to say who we think reigns supreme from an all-star tournament.
I do like that you're doubling down on
upsetting people. And then we are going to
people.
pander for getting it together. Bring the boys in. Let's play it.
Because
8-team tourney, all-star game.
Not
nationwide.
only have you already been late to a game because of the debates you've had about the all-star teams.
I was late to a game. I apologize.
But now you want to go ahead and pit these teams together and pick winners and losers and ultimately essentially picking
100%.
a best division.
100%. I was almost punched at a rink this year, and we're going to double down. Defensemen. Metro Jets D pair going to be the top D pair on this Great Lakes side. That's Braden Lewis and Nikola Murgic, who has been absolute magic for the Metro Jets. How about the Toledo Cherokee zone, David Crandall? You can't handle David Crandall. This defenseman stellar. Bryce O'Rourke. The Bryce is always right when O'Rourke's got the puck from the Toledo Cherokee. Two more defensemen. They're both going to come from Columbus and Cincinnati, the state of Ohio, reigning home to these two. It's going to be Nick Josefiak from the Columbus Mavericks and Joey Matavy of the Cincinnati Junior Cyclones. Finally, your goalies, Daniel Miscavish of the Metro Jets. You could have picked all three Metro Jets. Look at
really
that, Myers. You could have just done Augustine, the Francois Louis-Pierre Fortier, who says au revoir to pucks. He says, je m'appelle Louis, and I just stopped the puck.
Metro Jets are collecting goalies like they're a fantasy football team in championship week. Let me just grab all the guys that might be good so that you can't have them. And I think that's got to be their mentality because a lot of teams, they hope for two good netminders. They hope for two guys that you can flip a coin and start them any night of the week. Well, Metro Jets have a three-sided coin, and they flip it, and wherever it lands, they have a starting netminder.
Your final two netminders on this squad from the Toledo Cherokee, Joey Cormier, who plays all day, man. They really ride this young man to wins all season long. Got a big W at home against the Metro Jets, again with us on the call. We've been everywhere, Lucas. We've been to Toledo. We've been to Michigan. We're going to be calling an outdoor game in Mankato in -30 in 2 weeks. That's going to be cold. I moved down to Florida, where these guys from Palm Beach are from. We're in the warmth. We're in the sun. We're in the sunshine. We got the heat. And then I go, hey, let me make a business plan. Let's travel out to Mankato and freeze our buns off.
Well, you know what? It doesn't take – I'm sure they can back you up. It doesn't take long for the blood to thin when you move down to Florida.
Yeah, the snow, man, it just doesn't sit well anymore. I got down there, my golf game, man. I shaved a couple strokes off it. That driver, I just got to get the distance back. Bob Turo said that I don't have enough distance on the driver. He said I got to get in the gym. Probably do.
I'm only out driving you by about a yard if I don't slice it dead
You're
right
not
into the
out.
woods.
Let's first of all take the thing off. We're going on camera. Take the thing off. We're on camera. We're on camera.
If I don't dead right it into the woods or dead left it into the ground 5 yards in front of the tee box, if it goes straight,
blasphemous.
Pretty good. About 14% of the time, I'm right in the fairway.
Get me my driver.
Right now.
The New England Sports Center is big enough. We'll tee it up right here, and we'll go. And you show me Lucas Jones out driving me on average.
Here's a question.
You
if I
show
put you
me that. You
at the
show
arcade,
me the Marvel Universe world, Lucas Jones, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man Lucas Jones, who wants to come in here and outdrive me.
Why am I Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
Tell me about it.
Here's a question. If I put you down the arcade with whatever club you wanted, do you think you could hit a low enough golf ball to get all the way down to Rick?
100%. Guaranteed. I could hit a stinger.
Yeah?
I'll sting that thing down there right now.
Is it a stinger if it's accidental is the real question.
I'm going after it, man. I'll rip a stinger down there. You give me a 5-iron and you give me some space. You tell everyone what's going on. They'll get in the nooks and we'll knock that thing down there. But Lucas, you go through this team. Let's talk about these Great Lakes guys, man. They deserve the recognition. Let's start with David Crandall. 3 goals, 18 assists. The defenseman from the Toledo Cherokee. He's just a leader for this team, man. They're building shirts now because of my goal call, you can't handle David Crandall. They're building those now. They're putting the logo on them. They're putting David Crandall on the front, the name on the back. pretty excited about that. The folks in Toledo, man, they enjoy a good hockey game.
They really do, and they know how to enjoy a good hockey game. That was a rowdy, raucous welcome that we got in Toledo a few weeks ago in that home-and-home with Metro, where Toledo took 3 of 4 available points in a weekend against the Metro Jets team that have been riding pretty high all season long. The Metro Jets have run into pretty stiff competition as well in this showcase. They are battling some of the best that the USPHL has to offer. And like we said, when Metro Jets are the number one for as long as they are, you do get a bit of a target on your back. And the Toledo Cherokee, I think, would love nothing more than to maybe take a few more points away from Metro. The Cherokee, you hear the rumblings. They want to be number one. They are gunning for this Metro Jets team. And I think Crandall is one of those guys, along with Bryce O'Rourke, that is certainly going to be a key part of that, because you can't just score against Metro. You got to shut down all that talent. That starts in the defensive end.
Yeah, we keep going. I mean, you can't get away without talking about Drake Barnish. Drake Barnish, this is a guy who actually took a penalty, missed a couple games for spearing, and it's actually going to change the race for the most games ever played in the USPHL. He was tied with Nick Cesarini of the Metro Jets. He was in a 3-way tie with Cesarini, Barnish, and Steer. Steer got dinged up, missed a few games. Jordan Steer of the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings. The penalty to Drake Barnish. So now Cesarini, if he can stay healthy and make it through the schedule, will have the most games played all time in USPHL history by the end of it. But Drake Barnish, nobody touching that goal record.
No, there is something that feels a little untouchable about the way that he puts up goal after goal after goal. I mean, it's multiple times a game. Every single time he's on the ice, no matter the opponent. And I think that's what's so special about a guy like that. You're not just taking advantage of certain matchups, certain teams that play a certain way. You can do it against physical teams, fast teams, offensively minded teams. It's just an absolutely otherworldly performance from Barnish this year.
Yeah, you keep moving down the list. I mean, let's talk Ethan Bashar. This is a young man that's missed a few games from injury, 18 goals, 15 assists. Bashar is a game changer for Columbus. They're a different team when he's out there on the ice. And you match him up with Isherwood. You put those two together. I mean, between them, they each have an even 33 points. Both of them with 33. That's 66 total between the two skaters. This Columbus team, they're starting to look dangerous as the year goes on. They grabbed another guy from the Charlotte Rush. They continue to get better day in and day out. They're getting net minding from Frank Murphy. Listen to this one. Frank Murphy, 7 wins on the year. In net, he makes this all-star team in the Great Lakes a .943 saves percentage. That's 94% of the shots he faces being stopped. 179 goals against. It is tough to lose when you're allowing less than 2.
It really is. And I think the big thing that Columbus sits in, I guess the spot that Columbus sits in right now, there's so much talk about the battle between 1 and 2, Metro and Toledo. And then all of a sudden you turn around and Columbus is building a bit of old.
Oh, I thought something was behind me.
Columbus was not behind you. It's still the backdrop. I mean, Columbus might be behind you. I didn't check before we started. So
okay, we're good. Just a bunch of your trash
everywhere.
He's just so messy.
It all becomes, it's deconstructed. You know, like the food you get at a place that's too fancy.
Don't even say that. If I walk into a restaurant
I agree with you,
see the words deconstructed. Yes, the words, the 3 words, deconstructed. And I see those words at a restaurant, I'm outie. I'm going to go to Little Caesars, I'm going to get a $5 pizza, and I'm going to have a stomach ache. Apologies to the folks at Little Caesars in case they were planning on sponsoring.
No deconstructed foods and no ampersands in the title of your restaurant. Otherwise, we're good to go. We'll pretty much
ampersands? What does that even mean?
That's the name.
I know what an ampersand. I know. Hold on. I know what an ampersand is. Okay. But I mean, what restaurant has A&W? Are you going after specifically A&W root beer?
All the unnecessarily fancy restaurants, they throw that little and sign in there.
The ampersand.
The ampersand. Beware the ampersand.
I've never gone to a restaurant with an ampersand in the title.
Then you know what? You're doing it right. Don't even bother.
Name one restaurant with it. Go. Any restaurant with an ampersand. Go. Name one.
There's a restaurant literally
Gordon ampersand Ramsay's. No, that's not
5 minutes from my apartment. Cork and Barrel, and it's not great.
Cork and Barrel? You specifically attacked a small mom and pop restaurant in New Jersey.
Oh well, it's not there anymore. It moved to somewhere else.
It still exists though.
Well, I don't know where it is.
Lucas Jones, way to go. The Great Lakes tomorrow. Lucas, what time are we going to do it? What time are we going to pick? You pick. You pick it live in the air.
Just go ahead and pick our schedule live on the air.
Let me look at the schedule. Let me look at what's going on. We got a couple incredible broadcasters here. We got a whole great team of people. I can't remember my own schedule because it's like when you save everybody else on the ship to make sure that they're okay. Did I give Brett Luther? Yeah, I gave Brett Luther a 4. So tomorrow we have just a 2:10 p.m. game with who behind the bench?
Emerson Edom of the Long Beach Shredders.
Emerson Edom of the Long Beach Shredders eating them up. The Long Beach Shredders are going to be down here playing the Detroit Fighting Irish. We'll have their 2:10 p.m. puck drop with the Utica Junior Comets tomorrow. We'll then be bouncing all over the rink, getting content, making interviews, making them TikToks, you know, all that fun stuff.
I like maybe like a 10:30 and a 5 o'clock.
10:30 and 5 o'clock.
Or maybe 10:30 and 6 o'clock, just in case.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
10:30 and 6 o'clock.
I like that. So
10:30, 6 o'clock tomorrow. Tune in right here. We've got Gino Binda tomorrow at 11. So if you're in the building, you'll be able to watch us interview Gino Binda live. We've got the San Diego Sabres live at like 5.
Perfect.
Boom.
Can't beat it.
Boom.
You can't beat
Bing,
the coverage
bang,
from here.
boom. You're getting coverage on all ends of it. The Dan K Show, Dan K, Lucas Jones. We got to go get some food. We got to eat at some point. We got to feed our broadcaster friends. We got Brett and Sean that haven't eaten yet. Lucas, they're working hard on it. Over 120 hockey TV broadcasts, staffed, broadcasting teams, camera crew, engineers. Lucas, let's go through the list of everyone you've listened to so far and will listen to this weekend. We want to thank Christian Adams of the Tampa Bay Juniors. What a rousing ovation for Christian Adams from himself.
The very quiet ovation.
Sean Bretherick here this weekend. Brett Luthner, Eric Richardson, whoever the Dank Show is. Who is the Dank Show?
I wouldn't trust him.
In Espanol, El Dank Show.
I just wouldn't trust that show at all. I wouldn't put any stock in anything they have to say.
Whoa, you canceled a restaurant with an ampersand. And someone in the back did not like it either. Someone gave it, hey, the old jersey sign, but don't say that. Britt Hart, we'd like to thank her on the rink right now. Tyler Davey, the voice of Harvard University. Patrick Ramsdale, your man from the Hershey Cubs. Dave Gardner will join us tomorrow from the Northern Cyclones. That's Ice Hog. That's what he said. That's what his Ice Hog is his.
I love it. That's going to be awesome.
That's his name.
You get so many different voices. The kind of the best of the best here. Our own little all-star team.
Best of the best. And then we got Aaron Rinna here from the Detroit Fighting Irish. He'll be calling the game between the Long Beach Shredders. You can go tune into that right now as we close this one out. I just accidentally opened up his airfare. That's it. I do it all. We do it all, Lucas. Lucas, go ahead. You got something to say before you do part of it. I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off.
You've said a couple of times.
I don't want to cut you off. I just want to make sure I don't cut you off.
You've said a couple of times that, they say it couldn't be done. That's been like kind of the mantra, right, of what has come up until this showcase. And I had a conversation with Commissioner Bob Turrell earlier this morning and said
name drop. Someone pick up that name for him.
Oh, I got it right here.
Oh,
actually,
thank you.
That's great. Yeah.
That's Commissioner Bob Turrell?
Yeah, right there. You can hold on to that if you want.
Yeah.
For the people, and he had said also, they said it couldn't be done. And I say, well, you know what? The people who say it can't be done are usually the ones who don't want to try.
That's it.
And we here this weekend are the ones who wanted to try to get this thing going. And I got to be honest, it's pretty cool so far.
They said Palm Beach wouldn't beat Lake Tahoe, and they took the trip. They took the train to Dubtown. They got a George. That's what I call it, a W. That's what you get. You know what I mean? When you get W's, when you roll W's, when you get the big wins. What are we yelling? Was the score 5-4? What was it? 6-4. Oh, you guys dropped the empty netter. I walked away from the rink before the empty netter. I trusted you guys would close it out. I know a Flanagan-led defensive unit is not going to let in an empty net goal. That's not going to happen, all right? The 6-on-5 is nothing. You hatch back, you block shots. It's the Tortorellas of hockey. That's what it's all about. This is the USPHL's own Torts. We got John Tortorella. We got Joe and Bill Flanagan. I want to watch them in a shot blocking competition. If we had a skills competition for the USPHL, it would be planning Joe and Bill on each side of the ice and just clap bomb city going at the net.
Well, we had an accidental meetup of all the Flanagans earlier, and no one could leave the building. They were just blocking people who were trying to leave. It's
always great. We thank you guys for watching. We got to go get some food, get some sleep. We're back here bright and early. We'll be in the rink 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, doing it again. Lucas, tell them the times one more time for tomorrow's All-Star conversations, and then also our Sports Center recap of all the highlights from the weekend.
10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Eastern time. We've got folks from the West Coast, we've got folks from the Mountain, we've got folks from the Central.
The good news is if you miss it, you can join midway, or you can just go back and watch them. They're going to be on our YouTube page. You can watch them whenever you want. You can clip whatever you like.
Do what you want.
Do whatever you want with it.
That's it. Thank you to our sponsors, Elite Junior Profiles. That's www.elitejrprofiles.com. It's not just for your hockey player in the junior hockey realm. It's for any athlete trying to get to college, trying to get to the next level. You go to Elite Junior Profiles right now. You set yourself up, you sign up for an account, and you get yourself going with that Elite Junior Profiles account. You take your recruiting profile to the next level, Lucas. That's what you do. Remastered sleep. Stop snoring. You room with your buddy, and he snores on the hockey trip. You room with the parents. Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy.
It's always the guy who says he doesn't do it. I was once that guy.
Oh, we're talking about snoring. I didn't know what happened. I thought I was being canceled there. I thought everyone was canceled.
No, you're good. It's always the one who says he doesn't snore. I'm saying I used to be the one who says I don't snore.
Oh, you snored and you don't anymore. And why is that? It's because of our partners at Remastered Sleep. Lucas got the water bottle of his dreams. He bought the water bottle. He sipped the water bottle. And now I sleep on road trips because I'm not sleeping next to a hibernating grizzly bear. And guess what? You can get the bottle. How do you get it?
Go to remasteredsleep.com. They come in a lot of different styles. They now have insulated bottles, stainless steel bottles. They come in a lot of different options. But the biggest thing to remember, Dan K Show 2022.
2022. Dan K Show
off.
2022.
10% off the order, making it even easier to get started. If you're not sure, give it a shot.
And Christian, if you were talking about me snoring, it's because of I can't sleep on feather pillows, all right? I'm allergic to feather pillows. It's a problem. I can't breathe when I sleep on them, so I start snoring. I apologize. Remastered Sleep, I'll get the water bottle. I got to get the water bottle.
You should get the water bottle.
I'll order the water bottle. I'll start drinking out of the water bottle. We will eliminate my snoring. We will be ready to go. How about Selly Salt? Sprinkle a little bit on your next dinner. They're a proud sponsor of the Dan K Show. Two hockey moms that created the most delicious of salts, the most delicious of seasonings. You order it at sellysalt.com and you celebrate your next dinner. You taste the hockey in it. You could taste the hockey. What are we getting yelled about? Oh, we're looking for Westwood hockey. We're talking Westwood hockey here on the Dan K Show now. We're talking. Did you guys get the dub at least? Obviously, Westwood hockey would win. I mean, this is it. I don't know. Undefeated. 4-0, come on. 4-0, Westwood hockey, rolling up dubs. Let's hear it. And that's how we close it. We talk Westwood hockey. We're talking USPHL. Who else are we shouting? Did you say Snoop Dogg? Did you say shout out to Snoop Dogg from the folks here? Snoop-a-loop. Oh, there's a dog.
An actual dog.
Dog. I don't know dog's name. Look at this. Look at the people. We get it going here. Dan K, Lucas Jones. We got to go to sleep. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Follow us at _Dan K Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Go to www.dankshow.com. And the Richmond Generals need to go home and go to sleep.